Welcome back. I'm back. You're back. Hey, we back. Welcome everyone to this episode on the Ultimate Sports TV, guys. And most importantly, welcome to this edition of Ultimate Questions, the Q&A/mailbag segment where every Tuesday and Friday I answer your NFL-based questions, everyone. We got a lot of great NFL questions asked to get to today, and for me to answer everyone, I can't wait to answer them all. And if you want to get your NFL-based question on the show, here's all you have to do. Everyone, just go to my community section if you want to submit your ultimate question. I do these shows every Tuesday and every Friday. For the Tuesday shows, I submit my ultimate question prompt in my community section every Sunday. And for the Friday show, I submit my ultimate questions prompt for you to comment your question under every Wednesday, everyone. So look, all you have to do is make sure you put your question under the right prompt that says the right date on it, so I can make sure I can get your ultimate question in for the right date. Because if you don't submit it under the right prompt, I might not see it. So that's how you submit an ultimate question. Make sure you go do it. Go to my community tab section every Sunday and every Wednesday for the Tuesday and Friday shows to get your NFL questions on there, everyone. Other than that, let's start getting into these NFL questions. But wait, I just want to make sure you're subscribed to the Ultimate Sports TV for NFL content. Want to make sure you like this video for me, share this video and YouTube channel, then comment down below when you see all of these questions, your response and reaction to them down in the comment section below, everyone. But now let's hop into the first question of today. Let's hop into it. Alright everyone, this question comes from TWT, and they ask, are the Cowboys as serious as everyone says they are, or are they an accident waiting to happen? LOL. Now look, I do not think the Cowboys are an accident waiting to happen. The Cowboys are a legitimate contender right now in the NFC, and I think they're a legit threat to the Buccaneers right now. This is a team that really just fires on all cylinders, and when you want to beat the Buccaneers, you have to play complementary offense and mainly complementary football. The Cowboys are doing that right now. Now, I have concerns about Mike McCarthy, but look, the Cowboys are not an accident waiting to happen. They're a team that can play complementary football any given Sunday consistently, and this offense, mainly the passing attack, is good enough to duel with anyone in the league exactly when they need it. We all know Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup when he comes back, Cedric Wilson, Dalton Schultz, everyone in this receiving core, and even Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the backfield. This team has a flurry of weapons for Dak to work with, and I only think it makes this offense two-dimensional. When you're able to run the ball with Zeke more than you did the past 2 years and you're having success with it, the running game can then set up the pass game, which is going to be really good for the Cowboys. And not only that, you can keep these good offenses off the field with consistently running the ball well with two really good running backs. When you know that Dak Prescott and this passing game is going to make plays for you through the air. This offense is two-dimensional, and when they need to run and kind of keep other good offenses off the field, they can do that. When they need to get into a shootout, they can do that. And when your offense's passing attack can really fire off through the air with every position from running back to tight end to wide receiver, that allows your passing game not to only be dynamic, but to also make way for your run game and make teams fear you passing the ball so they won't stack the box versus Ezekiel Elliott and maybe even Tony Pollard, because he's also playing really well right now. And this defense gets turnovers when they need it to. In the Buccaneers game, in the Thursday night game as the NFL season opener, their defense was able to get turnovers in that, and we know what Trevon Diggs can do, and this defensive line is getting pressure. So I think this is a Cowboys team that is looking really complete right now, and I think this is a team, because they play complementary football, that can win a playoff game or maybe 2 playoff games and get to the conference championship. Will this team make or win the Super Bowl? That's a story for another day. I'm going to just say something else about that another day. But do they have the possibility to, with the strong chances and really good complementary football they play on their team? They have a really, really good chance to do that. Will they? Again, that's a story for another day. But the Cowboys are not an accident waiting to happen, and they're going to be a big, big threat in the NFC this year. Look out for the Dallas Cowboys. Alright everyone, this question comes from MCM20. They ask, did Sean McDermott make the right call on 4th and 1 with Josh Allen? Now, if you don't know what he's referring to, you probably do. It was Monday Night Football, Titans versus Bills. Sean McDermott decided to go with the play call, go forward with Josh Allen, 4th and 1. They could have taken the field goal, but they decided to run it to get some extra yards, get closer to the touchdown. Now, did Sean McDermott make the right call on 4th and 1, taking the QB sneak with Josh Allen? Here's my answer. Yes, he did. Sean McDermott was actually smart for making this play call. Just because it didn't execute by the players on the field doesn't mean it was a bad play call by the coach. It just wasn't executed. If I have Josh Allen on my team, who's as big as any quarterback in the league and is good with his legs in any situation on the field, I don't care if it's 4th and 20, Josh Allen can at least get 15 yards or 10 yards on the play because he's so good at breaking tackles and really just with his big body getting out of everything. I'm going for it, especially on 4th and 1 when the game is on the line. I mean, what do you have Josh Allen for? To let him go sit on the bench and watch his kicker kick a field goal to send it into overtime? No, when you have a big time quarterback, you're going to use them for the biggest plays. And in this case, Josh Allen's talents were used to the best of Sean McDermott's ability. Unfortunately, he didn't get it just because of poor execution. But any other time this were to happen, I guarantee you Josh Allen learns from this, gets his footing right, and gets this 4th and 1, and the Bills probably end up winning the game. I don't blame Sean McDermott for this. What's the point of having a quarterback you're paying over $40 million to on your team if you're not going to go for it with him to win you the game when you know how special he is at this stuff? Any other time, Josh Allen's making this. Now look, he's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady does a lot of this stuff. But look, Josh Allen is really good at this stuff. I don't blame Sean McDermott for the call because he's trusting his quarterback, and his quarterback has proven that he can trust him in these running down situations here on 4th and 1 and in these clutch situations. So look, I don't blame Sean McDermott. It's just bad execution. You have to blame Josh Allen on this one. Got to get your footing right pre-snap. Got to make sure you know what gap you're going to go through. Know your personnel on the field because Jeffrey Simmons is a dog out there on the defensive line for the Titans, and you can't run right towards him. They know you're going to run left. You got to run right because Josh Allen just loves to run left, but you got to go with the smart play and run right there. But look, you can't blame Sean McDermott. He just used his playmakers to the best of their abilities, and running is one of Josh Allen's best abilities, as we all know that. Josh Allen was just a few inches short because he didn't get his footing right. You just got to fix that next time, and I guarantee you that small play, it's not going to happen ever again. Josh Allen knows what to do on these type of plays, and I think Sean McDermott did make the right call. The blame is on Josh Allen. I think when you're trying to win the game and you have a big time quarterback, you're going for it. And the Bills also had, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 2 timeouts. So if you got this, then you could still call a timeout to make sure you have at least 2-3 plays to make it into the touchdown. I think it was good coaching and good decision making by Sean McDermott. You're not going to win Super Bowls by playing conservative, especially if you're playing conservative with such a great quarterback. I don't blame Sean McDermott on this one. I blame Josh Allen. I think it was the right play call. Let's move on. All right, everyone, this question comes from Brown City, and they ask, could the Browns pull a Rams-type trade this offseason, Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford type, given the way Baker has performed to start the year? Trade the QB that's not putting you over the top for a quarterback that can. Now, I'll say this. Wait for your quarterback to perform. You still got 11 games left. Just wait for Baker Mayfield to progress throughout this year. I'm sure it'll get better. Don't give up on him right here, right now. But say, for instance, Baker Mayfield played the way he's playing right now for the rest of the year. I'm just going to say this. I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad at this move from the Browns because you look at what the Rams did last offseason. Jared Goff took you to the divisional round. He took you to Super Bowl one year. But you still haven't gotten farther than just getting to the Super Bowl. Why is that? Because Jared Goff couldn't make the plays for you to win the game, and he didn't really expand your playbook. Baker Mayfield is not the type of guy that's not going to expand your playbook, but we have seen him at times come up short because he didn't make enough plays. And we know all the talent Baker Mayfield has around him. Injuries have happened. And look, his offensive line's not healthy. His wide receivers aren't healthy. His defense is giving up a lot of points right now. So Baker isn't the only one to blame for the Browns' woes in the middle of the season right now. But look, if at the end of the season your team is that close to a Super Bowl and you have all this much talent and you're that good, then you got to say, are we a quarterback away? Now, at the end of the season, I don't think this will be what the Browns think. I think they're going to have a very successful year, but that's just one way to think about it. If he continues to play the way he is, and the Browns have all this talent and have spent all this money and they don't want to waste the money that they've spent, then they're not wrong to upgrade a quarterback that is going to make more plays when it is needed. Give up maybe one first round pick in Baker Mayfield for a slightly or a little bit better quarterback, and expand your playbook and have a quarterback that'll make plays to get you over the top with the massive playmakers that you have. Because Baker, I heard Colin Cowherd say this. Sometimes he has to have everything perfect for him to win. He didn't have his offensive tackles in this game. His defense gave up a lot of points. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a transcendent quarterback in the NFL, you got to step up when your team needs it. You got to be the reason your team wins. And if Baker continues to be the reason his team doesn't win because of the pieces and knowing the pieces he has around him, then I wouldn't be mad at the Browns for upgrading from Baker Mayfield. Now, do I foresee this happening? No, I believe in Baker. I do believe he'll get better, and the Browns will have a surge at the end of the year and have a very, very successful year this year. But also, when I'm looking at it, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry did not draft Baker Mayfield. So their look on this would be very different from John Dorsey's look. Do they believe in Baker, given the money that they've spent? Do they want another quarterback to take them over the top, expand their playbook a little bit, and try and be better contenders in the AFC? I wouldn't blame the Browns for that, just like the Rams did. Jared Goff wasn't getting you any farther. Upgrade the quarterback position with the talent that you had around him. Add Matthew Stafford in there, and you could be, and your aspirations look a lot better. And that could be the case for the Browns. Will it happen though? I don't think so. But Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry did not draft Baker. And if they don't think he's doing good enough, and if they don't think he deserves a $40 million extension, go get a quarterback that does if Baker Mayfield ends up stinking this thing up. So look, I do think if Baker Mayfield were to stink this thing up for the rest of the year, go make a trade. But if he isn't, and I don't think he will stink it up, don't make the trade. He's worth the extension. Good question here from Brown City. All right, everyone, this question comes from Baller06. Also, shout out to Baller06. They're a great supporter of the channel. Shout out to you, man. But Baller06 asks, most underrated and overrated NFL team right now. I would have to say overrated. I know you're panicking over your screen right now. I think it's the Cowboys. That does not mean they're a bad team. My most underrated team is the Bengals. I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to start with my most underrated team. The Bengals are my most underrated team. I just don't think people are taking them serious yet. This team is 4-2. People still aren't considering them as one of those wild card teams that will either be in there at the end of the season or will fight to be being in that wild card spot. Their offense right now is as good as any offense in the NFL. They're a top 10, maybe even top 7 offense in the NFL in my opinion, because they're two-dimensional. They can run that thing with Joe Mixon, and that passing game is just dynamic with Joe Burrow leading the way, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. That offense can fire off on all cylinders and duel with some of the best offenses in the NFL, and they did that with the Packers and the Vikings. And that defense can make plays when they need to. Now, they're going to need to hold up down the stretch, but this is a secondary that hasn't been given up too much, and this is a pass rush that probably needs to get a little more pressure, but it hasn't been bad at all this year. The Bengals to me are the real deal because they play complementary football on both sides of the ball, and I think they're going to be a wild card team at the end of the year, and if not that, they're going to be fighting to get in at the end of the year. Take the Bengals more seriously. Now look, I take the Cowboys seriously, but what my thing is public perception. And here's what I don't get, because I don't think people are looking at the big picture with the Cowboys. This is a Super Bowl roster. This team right now is playing like a Super Bowl team right now. But when we get mixed up in this Super Bowl term, they're a big threat to the Buccaneers, but I don't think this is a team that's going to a Super Bowl, mainly because of coaching. This is not an indictment on the players or anything like that. This is a team that I think is going to win at least one playoff game. But to me, this team isn't going to the Super Bowl because of their head coach, Mike McCarthy. I don't trust him at all. Time management, the decision he's making in these games, I just don't trust it. How are you going to make it to a Super Bowl like that? I just don't get it. Mike McCarthy is going to coach the Cowboys out of making it to a Super Bowl, and I think, or even winning a Super Bowl, and I think people are not looking at the big picture when we're looking at Mike McCarthy as the head coach for this Dallas Cowboys team. This is a guy who had a hard time coaching this team last year. This team has a Super Bowl roster. He's doing a little bit better this year. But we've seen rough things go on with Mike McCarthy in these games. Time management, decision making. That's not going to win you a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy is going to hold the Cowboys back, and he is going to be the reason they do not win a Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. I just think they're overrated because people are missing the reason of why they're not fully over the top, and that's because of their head coach. This is a Super Bowl roster, a Super Bowl team. I mean, this is a team that's playing like they want to win the Super Bowl right now, but in the playoffs, when your head coach makes decisions like that, you're not winning the Super Bowl. And that's why they're overrated, mainly because of public perception and how everyone's really forgetting that. So to me, the Cowboys are the most overrated team right now in the NFL. All right, everyone, this question comes from Devontae James. They ask, what do you think have been the two biggest surprises through 6 weeks so far in the NFL? Number one, I got to say Cordarrelle Patterson, man. Fantasy, first of all, he's been incredible in fantasy football this year. Shout out to the fantasy owners that picked up Cordarrelle Patterson and had the awareness to go do that and automatically go pick this guy up. But look, in the beginning of the year in training camp, we heard reports that the Falcons were going to heavily use and feature Mike Davis and that they were going to have him make a lot of plays in this offense. But look, not only do they use Cordarrelle Patterson this year in special teams sometimes, he's not only frequently, but he's an important part to this Falcons offense. And not only that, he's making a bunch of plays. Arthur Smith shows the genius he is and how he uses players as a head coach right now. Cordarrelle Patterson just comes out of the gate, out of nowhere, not only playing as a good running back, but also playing as a good receiver. He's not only playing as a running back and a receiver right now, he's just a flat-out football player like he calls himself. He's just a football player that's making a lot of plays that's helping his team right now. A touchdown machine, a playmaker machine. To me, Cordarrelle Patterson, the way he's been used and the way he's performed has been one of the two biggest surprises this year. Secondly, I think it's the Washington football team's defense. Look, Chase Young hasn't had the best start to the year. A lot of their defensive players haven't had the best start to the year, and as a unit, they're not good in the pass game. They haven't been getting a ton of pressure on that defensive line, and the run game kind of needs work. This Washington football team has done a total 360 from what we expected them to be this year and what they were last year. Looking at the stats, they don't resemble them being too good, and when you look at the film, it's not great. So look, they need to get more pressure. They need to be able to stop at least a nosebleed in that secondary. The Washington football team's defense and how bad they've played so far is really, really scary and surprising for me, and one of the two biggest surprises I've had through 6 weeks here in the NFL. All right, everyone, this next question comes from Showtime Rams, and they ask, who's the MVP frontrunner as we finished week 6? And why is it Matthew Stafford? Now, look, Showtime Rams, I know you're a loyal supporter of the show. I thank you for that. But look, it's not Matthew Stafford, and I'm sorry. It's Kyler Murray. It's your division rival. Kyler Murray is the dual threat quarterback right now that is just deceiving everyone right now. He is elevating and transcending his offense in a way that's just incredible right now. When you look at the film, Kyler Murray is just making incredible decisions and is just making plays that helps his team win the game. And not only in the stat sheet, but he's just making ways when you look at film and just his eyes, his deceivingness when he's throwing balls right now. It's just Kyler Murray is firing from all cylinders, and he's the main reason his team is 6-0 right now. He's elevating players on his team. He's made AJ Green relevant again. We obviously know what DeAndre Hopkins can do. He's been a big part in what Rondale Moore could do. He's elevating players. He's elevating his team. Kyler Murray as a dual threat quarterback is just making you scratch your head as a defensive coordinator. He's leading the league in completion percentage. His passing yard numbers are in the top 5. His touchdown numbers, I believe, are in the top 5. Kyler Murray is everywhere right now. He's deceiving defenses. He's making game planning hard for defensive coordinators. When you look at the film, Kyler Murray is just on a tear right now, and he's the main reason the Cardinals are so good right now. He's the MVP frontrunner as we finish week 6, and he's proved himself versus really good defenses also. This question comes from Jackson7. They ask, who is your midseason non-quarterback MVP? Everyone, to me, it's no debate. It's Derrick Henry. You could suggest Myles Garrett. You could throw Trevon Diggs in there. You could throw Devontae Adams in there. It's no debate to me. It's just Derrick Henry. We're not even past week 7 yet. We haven't even hit week 7 yet. And this dude already almost has 1,000 yards. He's nearing 800. He's probably going to get 1,000 in the next 2 games. This dude he's just on an amazing tear right now. He's probably going to hit 2,000 yards again, and he's just the reason the Titans are winning games right now. It's like he's the guy, he's the running back that if you have him on your team, you have a very good chance of winning solely because of him. And this is not a Titans passing offense that has looked the best this year. They've missed A.J. Brown and Julio Jones numerous times this year, and both at the same time in one game. And Derrick Henry is still carrying the load. This dude in 6 games, if I'm not mistaken, has already had 500-yard games. He has only had 1 game where he didn't have 100 yards. This dude is already almost at 800 yards. He's going to reach 1,000 yards soon in maybe about 2 games. I'm just losing my mind over Derrick Henry, people. I'm just losing my mind. This dude's going to hit 2,000 yards again. I don't care what you say, barring injury. Derrick Henry is going to reach 2,000 yards, maybe 2,100 yards. He's back like he never left. Derrick Henry is on an amazing pace. And look, he's just winning the Titans games. He was the reason they won versus the Bills. He was the reason they won versus the Jaguars. He's been the reason they won a bunch of other games this year. He's the reason they're 4-2. The defense isn't all that great. But if you need a big play on the ground, Derrick Henry's going to get it. I don't care if you touch him because he's second in the league. He's first in the league in yards, but he's also second in the league in yards because he's also second in the league with his over 530 yards after contact. He is that amazing right now because even if you hit this dude, he's not going to go down. He's still going to go get a splash play as a running back. That's just what I don't get about Derrick Henry. When you need a big play, Derrick Henry's going to go get it. It's like if you need a passing play, just go to Derrick Henry because he can still make up for it with all these 20-yard runs, with these 80-yard runs. Derrick Henry can win you the game with all these yards and with all these touchdowns, even if your pass game isn't working. He is winning the Titans games right now, everyone. Derrick Henry, for me, is the mid-season non-quarterback MVP. Great question there from Jackson7, everyone. Derrick Henry's going to hit 2,000 yards again. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, everyone. Other than that, this has been Malik Hicks, aka The Ranker, the Ultimate Sports TV, signing off. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to submit your ultimate questions for Friday and do it every week, everyone. Other than that, this has been Malik Hicks, aka The Ranker, the Ultimate Sports TV, signing off. Peace out, and I'll see you on the other side.